Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Christiana.
Yeah, good morning. So, quick one. How has this pandemic affected this company, or in any way, or has it not? That's my question. Thank you.
What's the question again, please? I didn't hear you.
So, the pandemic of a thing that's happened just in a few months, how has it affected the business in the luxury brand business? Has it affected the business at all in any way?
So she's asking
Okay.
about COVID situation and the pandemic,
Yeah.
if it has affected, and if it has, in what way has it affected, and what have you done to mitigate that?
Okay.
Okay. Any other hands up? Colette, are you checking as well?
Yes, I am.
All right. Uncle, I think we can just talk about that, but just so that I can expand that question a bit, I wanted to talk more about business continuity. What I found out is that with COVID, a lot of businesses have never thought about business continuity, but it's something that we must take into consideration. Yours is a very unique story because you first started by importing the product and selling it, and then it was banned, and then you went into manufacturing. And a lot of people face that same situation. So, but you've been able to, with each tide of policies that come, you seem to be able to survive. So I want you, in addition to what Christina talked about COVID, to also speak a little bit more around business continuity and what your business continuity plan is like.
Okay, thank you. Well, one of the biggest attributes of a very good entrepreneur is your ability to adjust and adapt to changing environment. Because every society on its own is very dynamic. And as much as we try to mitigate our risks, you also have to worry about uncertainty. COVID in itself is a crazy, uncertain situation. Nobody ever anticipated that will ground the entire world completely. What we have done in Beloxxi, when I started Beloxxi, is to make sure that every step we take in the processes and procedure we adopt in Beloxxi is world-class standard. There's nothing like Nigeria in what we do. Because if you have a proper standard and you do things properly, in time of uncertainty, okay, it's easy to adapt. Now, in Beloxxi, our HSC is very, very strong in terms of hygiene and cleanliness. When COVID first started, the first thing we did, when it broke out in China, because of the level of foreign investors we have levels of our HSC compliant. Our level 1 is very low. So when the problem started in China, okay, we went into a very, very serious thinking about what could happen because we are into foods, okay? We raised our level again to level 1, caution. Listening to WHO, what are they saying? What are the signs? Yes, no index cases in Nigeria. If it happens, what do we do? So we started immediately checking temperature, hand sanitization, making sure that all our staff understand the importance of being very cautious. That was the first step we took. By the time the thing started exploding to Europe and every other part of the world, we went to level 2. Level 2 meant that we banned all kinds of visitors to our facility, okay? And every staff must communicate with all the external vendors and suppliers by telephone, email, or WhatsApp, or whatever. Nobody enters our factory. By the time the index case was finally and eventually identified in Nigeria, it became now serious threat. What we now did was to make sure that we begin to listening to WHO, listening to the local authorities. What are they saying? What are the consequences of each action that we take every day? And we've started our mitigation process. If you don't have any business coming to our factory, you will not enter. We only allow goods, people that supply us raw material, and we only allow people that evacuate raw material. If you're a driver, you come at the gate, you park your vehicle, you have to check your temperature before even you enter our compound. If it's above 27.5, you don't enter at all. Now, after that, you come in, you wash your hands, we give you sanitization, okay? That is number one. Now, we had to install what we call decontamination unit at the gate. You have to pass through that so that if there's anything, within your body, at least that one is removed, okay? Why do we do that? Because Beloxxi presents a very big public health issue because of the volume of products we make. That's number one. Now, once we're able to make sure that we contain our environment and is in control of our environment, the next question becomes, what is the effect of this pandemic to our business? Luckily, the government classified us as essential product because we're in food. That is number one, which means we can produce. But the point is that even if we produce, how do we ensure that our staff come safely with all the lockdown? Okay, we have to now go into hiring bosses to pick each staff individually to make sure that they are able to come to work safely and be able to go home safely. In terms of capacity, the effect, we have to reduce from 7 lines to only 2 lines because we are much more interested in preserving our most critical assets, which is our staff. If my staff is not healthy, then there is no business. So that was the first effect. We have to slow down everything we are doing to a manageable level. Of course, with that, the capacity dropped considerably to about 30–40%. That's number one. Now, the effect on revenue was high, but that wasn't even the issue. The point is that we want to be sure that we are safe because only somebody who is alive that will be able to produce and make money. If I lose somebody in my office, then it becomes a big problem because you can't get anybody to come and work. And at the end of the day, business dies completely. So all those risks and uncertainty were clearly identified. So we now focus on the fact that the most critical element of this thing is our health and safety. That was the first one. Now, the economic impact is enormous. Everybody is still calculating. Nobody can say precisely what is the impact. The impact is heavy on business. But we are lucky we're able to survive, we're able to produce, and then as the lockdown is opening up, we are able to open up and join the business, making sure that we are clearly protected. So in a short analysis, the effect is 3 types, or 3 tripod. One is the economic effect, which is loss of revenue. The second one is the security implication of it, which is you have to deal with security agencies and all the rules to be able to comply. That is the second one. And then the final one is the health. Because it's only somebody who is alive that can produce and run a business. If you're dead, you're dead at the end of the business. So that is the effect of the COVID. 3 effects. Economic, we lost a lot of money. Health, we have to be sure that our staff is protected, and that's cost a lot of money. The third one is security challenge, which is how do we navigate all the security apparatus of the country and make sure that products are still moving. So overall, the impact is heavy. But what is more critical is that we are still alive to talk about it. And if we go through it and survive and we don't lose anybody, then business can, of course, over time, recover all the lost ground. So that is, I think, the effect we've seen so far in COVID is still unfolding. Nobody can say that this is the final effect because we are not yet out of the woods. But until then, on the interim, this is the effect. Now, the mitigation part of it is what I've explained earlier. The mitigation part of it is just health. What are we doing to make sure our people are protected. Of course, apart from the hygiene, apart from the equipment we've installed, we fumigate our offices and factory every day at the end of each shift, and we fumigate every month. We used to do this 3 times in a year, but now it's every month to make sure that we have a sterile environment to produce. Now, that is the mitigation part of it. So at the end of the day, what we just see is a fluid and dynamic situation which we try to adjust every day. So the mitigation is not complete, it is not absolute, it is still ongoing. That is my little explanation for the first question. Now, on the business continuity, of Beloxxi, I've always said to people that as an entrepreneur, I see myself as a teacher. Okay, and then the philosophy that really motivate and drive Beloxxi is the fact that all my staff are very, very young people. Some of them that started with me from inception are still here. And they are the people that run Beloxxi. My own is to provide strategic direction, guidance, and advice. Okay? The young people that work with me are very, very competent in the sense that any of them, okay, in the absence of me tomorrow, can step into the shoe and run the business because everything we do is templated. Okay, the rules are the rules. The operational procedure are the operational procedure. Just like what in line with the ISO certification that we have. So whether I'm in the office or not in the office, Beloxxi continues to work. However, that is the basic one. On the continuity part of it, the second part of it was when we made the strategic decision in 2015 to open up our business to international investors. That is the first step we took towards that continuity, so that we can benchmark what we have always done on the world scale and see whether we are doing it very well. Of course, you know that the Germans are one of the best in terms of manufacturing processes. And for them to agree to invest in Beloxxi means we are doing things right. So with that sort of investment and opening up our business to other participants, it means that we are thinking about continuity already so that the business can outlive me. Now, on the third tranche of this continuity process is that it is our hope and belief that one day Beloxxi will become a public company so that all Nigerians can buy our shares and all our books will be open, whether I'm there or not tomorrow, the institution will continue to run. In Beloxxi, we are not trying to build strong personality or a cult following around me. Yes, I'm the founder, but we are more interested in building an institution that is governed by principle, vision, and philosophy, and of course, our value system. So that is, to me, the best way to ensure continuity. I have a lot of young people that work for me. Everybody knows their role. We are not so fixated in this hierarchical title. Yes, we have head of department, we have all our job functions and responsibility. But what is critical is that we have set of rules that are codified and templated. And everybody, including myself, is subjected to that rule. So that whether I'm there or not, the institution works. So that is, to me, the best community you can put in place. Because if you begin to foist an institution around a personality, nobody's going to live forever. And it becomes a massive risk for the institution if anything happens. For instance, in 2011, I was attacked by armed robbers, and I was not at work for 6 months. And the company was running by the same young people that have been working with me all these years. Sometimes since March of this year, when the COVID started, I've only been to the factory once. But every day the place works. So to me, that is the sustainability we are talking about. It is not when you say that, okay, you have the CEO, you have the deputy MD, you have this, you have this. These are beautiful. These are good nomenclature. But from an entrepreneurial point of view, the thing is that, is this institution working? That if one person is sick, nobody feels the problem and everything moves smoothly. I think that is what is more important in terms of continuity, in my view. So I don't know what other people think. So I think that's my explanation for business continuity.
For business continuity. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. And that's very interesting. There's something you said when you were talking about, when we said about business continuity, where you mentioned that you have a lot of your staff that have been there from inception. And Beloxxi, the factory now is how old? How many years is the factory?
Well, the factory started in 2005 operation. So
okay, so 15 years. Yes, so you have some talent that have been there for a decade and a half.
Yes.
That's amazing, because I think for a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we find it very challenging. I won't even say retaining, but even just recruiting the right type of talent. And then by the time we've recruited them, getting them to stay seems to be a challenge. So what was the formula? What was the magic that you have done? Because I've been to your factory before. And I followed the brand, and it's doing so well. There's some magic you have. I remember when we visited the factory some years back, I think maybe it was the supervisor, the floor supervisor. He had just come back from doing his master's or something in the UK, and you talked about how when they come, there's a path for them, and how you train them. Once they get admission to the best schools, that you know the organization is fully behind them and all that. So what's the formula? How are you able to do this? How do you get this type of people that stay, that want to develop themselves, they want to give the best of themselves? Because I think for most of us here, it's a challenge that we've had. So at least we can learn something around talent management.
Yes. You know, one of the things that keep us alive is hope. You know, most of us that are very religious, if there's no preaching from pastors that if you die, you go to heaven, I bet you on Sundays, most people will not go to church or even pray, okay? What I've tried to do when I started Beloxxi, that I asked myself a very good question. Why am I doing this? Okay? Entrepreneurship and talent we have is what we hold in trust for God and humanity. And in doing an entrepreneurial work, you have to develop very good empathy for people that work for you, okay? And that starts from the recruitment process. When I started Beloxxi, I noticed that most of the young, fresh graduates in this country barely get a job because they don't know anybody. And I told the consultant I called to help me that I don't believe in such theories. Maybe because of my training in the United States. I believe that every young Nigerian is endowed with a special talent. And our job is to discover those talents, polish it, and allow them to flourish in their talent. So what I did in Beloxxi is to recruit very young people. And to me, I don't bother about title or who greets me in the morning or who doesn't greet me. I make sure that the environment is so accommodating, so pleasant, and so free for them to express themselves open and free. No intimidation of any type. That is the first thing. And when I recruit people, it is based on pure merit. We have our protocol for recruiting people. You go through the process, you submit your CV, we interview you. All my people are involved in that interview. During the interview, I have only one vote. If we say yes, we take. If we say no, nobody is taken. Nobody that's related to me works for me. Okay? These are the basic principles. My friends know that I don't do favoritism in my employment, because you can't want excellence without merit. That is number one principle. And once that was established, it became the core value of the company, and everybody keyed into that. That is number one. Number two, I try to put myself in the position of these young people. What is really their aspiration in life? If I'm in their shoes, what do I want? I want a good environment to work. I want to be paid. I want to succeed or fail on my own talent, not where I come from or who my father is or the religion I belong to. In Beloxxi, I don't have favorites. I don't believe in cronyism and nepotism. You don't have to greet me. Go and do your job. That is one. Number two is that I try as much as possible to treat my staff very, very well. I don't have a secretary in my office. I don't have a PA. My office is open. You can come to talk to me. We discuss issues, bow to superior logic. That's number one. So the culture and environment I created is the secret for my retention. If you want to answer, if you want the answer to be that way, that's the secret. Now, number two is the way we recruit our people, particularly the factory staff. You see, I don't have a casual worker in Beloxxi. All my factory workers are staff of Beloxxi. People come to me and say that, scrub contract. I said, no, I don't do that. These kids never chose where they were born. It could have been me or you. So it is my duty to bring them in here and make sure that they flourish and function. And once we hire you, I always tell them that factory work is not a profession. They must make irreversible commitment to go to school. And that brings me to the question you asked, how do I retain them? Now, most of them, their parents don't even have money to buy them JAM form. During the JAM season, we buy forms. GCE, if you don't have your papers, we pay. If you pass and do everything in JAM, we don't give anybody bribe, we will pay your school fees and allow your salary to still come to you. However, during holidays, you must come to work and we must see your result. If you stop passing and we don't see your result, we'll stop you, we'll sack you. That's how we retain good people. Most of them have graduated and they all started working for Beloxxi. Now, when we were building Ambara, I used to have some expatriates working for me. One of my key staff, who is now the production manager, we sent him to the UK to go and do masters. So by the time he came back, we have finished building the factory. And I looked at him and I told him that the destiny of this country lies on the square shoulders of young people. This country can only develop or sink depending on what we do. And I told him that if I have to hire a white man to supervise you, I will sack you. You go and make sure you work with your colleagues, build a good team to do the work. And that is what we have done. Of course, there are a lot of things we have done to mitigate a whole lot of problems. In the factory, I created a clinic from start. It was part of my design. I feed my staff free. They don't pay for food. We have staff boss. If you're sick, we send you to the best hospital, depending on the type of illness. And the company pays. Whether you're factory worker or anything, it doesn't matter to us. And then the beauty of it is that as you're treating one person, other people are seeing it. And every human being likes to be treated well and appreciated. So that is basically what we do. So it is the culture and value that we created that helped us in the retention thing that people see. Now, The other part of this thing is that we also try to motivate our staff to understand that this institution belongs to all of us. Okay? And then you do things that will make them know that, look, we are in this thing together. Most of them that graduate and things like that, we buy vehicles, give them, it belongs to them, we don't fuel. After 5 years, you take, so that they can come to work and feel that, no, this is an institution that I belong to. Now, that is that. Even before the pension plan started, we instituted our own pension plan, managed by Stanbic IBTC, in line with the best practices. We have all manners of insurance, workman compensation, health insurance for everybody, irrespective of whether you're a factory worker or no factory worker. So these are some of the things we try to do. If you're a staff of Beloxxi, nobody is paid cash. We open an account for you. We teach you how to manage your funds. We pay it to the bank. We bring, financial consultants to advise them on how to manage their money. We bring in, experts to talk to them about their health. So these are some of the things we try to do. We try to find the best, employee benefits that we can afford, and we make sure that it's available to our staff. So these are some of the things that help us to retain them. And then of course we have constant human capital development for them. They go to training on a regular basis. We use the best equipment available for us. And then we try to make sure that everything we are buying is in line with the best available in the market, so that they can work and have the tools to make sure that they do their work very well. So, doing all these things, a lot of them feel that, look, this is the place to stay. And that is why they are around. And then, of course, we have all kinds of mitigation things. If we have problems, how do we solve it, disciplinary committee, all those things, it's all stated there. And the rules are very clear. So I basically think that's why we have a lot of people that have worked with us that have continued to stay.
Wow, that's so impressive. And I think for me, why I'm really very impressed is the fact that more often than not, the lower level staff are the ones that we find more complaints about. So, but for you to be able to have kept them such that they come into your organization very young, fresh, novice, and today a lot of them are graduates and working there, is really very commendable. So what I got from that, and it's something that I teach in class, I always tell people that you can have the best strategy, but if you have a very bad culture, that culture will chew up the strategy for breakfast and spit it out. So culture is something that a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we don't pay a lot of emphasis to, but it's something that is very, very important.
Yeah.
Okay?
To amplify what you're saying, and I'll give you an example of these things. Some of the policies I put in place is always instigated by bad things I see and I want to correct. When we started the factory, of course, the normal thing, you had HR officer and things like that. What I discovered that shocked me was that we had the HR officer, very experienced and all those things, a lawyer and everything. And then when the factory workers come to apply, this lady was selling our forms. When they are paid, she likes to pay them cash, and they were doing shakedown, young kids from poor home. We had mobile police people in our facility. Some of them that are 17, 18-year-old, little young girls, we are being auctioned off to police people for sex for money. I was livid. A young woman with all the credentials. I almost reported to NBA, but people begged me to please. I sacked All of them. Not one was left. Since then, I am the only one that interviews factory worker with my team. And most of the coordinators, because I have a lot of female workers, most of my coordinators are female, we sit and interview them. Because beyond money, it is our duty to protect these young kids who never chose where they were born. And then the person that reported this thing to me was an ex-mobile staff that retired, an old man that owns a filling station, that heard the way I treat my staff, that picked the information and called me. So because of that, we now cancel all those nonsense. You come to our gate, fill form, we stamp it and number it. When we need staff, we call from 1 to 100. If we need more, we call from 101 to 200. So people, all the kids know that they can come and apply for a job. You don't need to know anybody. And they want to interview you and you fit what we want. We'll take you. We will try to make sure that if you're a young child, you just finished school, you must tell us what you want to do. You must live with your parents or a guardian or somebody who is related to you. We don't employ this professional factory worker that roam around, all those things. We don't have pilfering. They eat as much biscuit as they want. We give them free food. So there is no reason for them to steal. And they know that if you catch you stealing, you're gone. So these are the things that entrepreneurs feel that is not important, but it's absolutely necessary. Because if you don't build a good team, regardless of your vision, it will not come to fruition because you can't be there. I can't pack biscuits anymore. God has made it so. But I must make sure that I inspire them and motivate them to pack that biscuit with all the passion they can muster. And that is what is critical in entrepreneurship. If you do things right, you will make money. And then the most critical asset you have is not the cash or not the idea. It is the staff you have, your human capital. Because if they execute flawlessly, then your expansion and reach makes sense. For instance, if you're running a pharmacy shop and you want to have 10 outlets, where are the people to run it? But if you have a core group of people that you have groomed very well, understand the ideal, if you open one and send one of them there, they understand the rule, they understand the philosophy, they understand the value, the place will flourish. From there, you can expand and expand. And when you look around, you find out that, look, this is good. So that is the takeaway I want some of them to understand. And most people always think that, entrepreneurship means money. I don't care, whether my staff is sick, they must come to work. Or if they don't come to work because they are sick, you don't have to pay them. We don't do that. If you're sick and you went to hospital, and we know you actually went to hospital, referred to by our clinics and things like that, you get your money. Because if you don't do that, other people will hear. And then what are you telling them? That you don't care about them, that you can treat them anyhow, and then that same way, when they come to work, they do anyhow. If you install an expensive machine, they will destroy it because they have no stake. So that is the point I wanted to emphasize.